So here we have an example 2. The percentage of marks obtained by a student in the monthly unit tests are given below. So you can count the number of unit tests taken. There are 5 unit tests taken, and the percentage in the first test was 58, in the second was 74, in the third was 76, fourth is 62, and fifth is 85. So the data you can see, the lowest percentage the child has got is 58 and the highest he's got is 85. So we now know a little about the child. Yes, these are his test scores. Now we want to predict, see the future. What is the probability that the student gets at least 60% marks in the next test? Now based on this data, we'll try to find the probability. Or the second one, marks between 70% and 80%. Or 75% marks or above, and the fourth case less than 65% marks. So what will we do now is find the probability in each case one by one for the same question. So first of all, we see the total number of tests held or total number of trials. We have got 5 because there are 5 tests. Now in the first case we want to find out what is the probability he gets at least 60% marks. So out of the 5 tests, in how many he got at least 60%? Now at least 60% means the least, the lowest he can get is 60. He can get more than 60, but not less than 60. The least he's got is 60. So you can see in this test it is more than 60, 74. In this test he got more than 60. This is also more than 60, and this is also more than 60. So in 4 tests out of the 5 tests, he got more than 60. So the probability of getting more than 60% marks is 4 out of 5. Why 4 out of 5? Because in 4 tests, he got marks more than at least 60%, means 60 or more than 60. So the probability of getting 60% marks is 0.8. You see, this is a very high probability. 0.8 means out of 1, it is almost 80% chances. There is a 80% chance that the child will score at least 60% marks, means 60% or more than 60%. Let us move on to the next case. He scores marks between 70 and 80%. Count. Here he's got 74 and here he's got 76. In 2 cases, he got marks more than 70% but less than 80%. So how many were the total trials? There were 5 total trials, and out of that, in 2 he got more than 70 and less than 80. So the probability of getting between 70 and 80% is 2 out of 5 or 0.4. Okay? Then we move to the third case, that he gets 75% or above. Now he got more than 75 in 2 cases. Can you see? Out of 5 cases, in 2 cases he got 75% or above. So here the probability of getting 75% or above is 2 out of 5. So 2 is the test in which he got 75 or above, and 5 are the total number of trials. So yesterday we did the formula of probability. It is number of times the event has occurred upon total number of trials. So here we have got the answer 0.4. I hope this is very clear to you how to find the probability from the data given to us. In the next case we have less than 65% marks. So in how many cases he can get less than 65%? So here there are 1, 58 and another one 62. In 2 cases he gets marks less than 65%. So here the probability of getting less than 65% is 2 out of 5 or 0.4. Yes, so we have done the 4 cases of example 2, taking each one separately. So I hope you have understood how to find the probability. We have not written the formula, but you can write the formula also. Probability equal to number of trials in which the event has occurred upon total number of trials. Yes, and then we write the answers and go further now. So let us move to the next example. So have you understood this example? So you can see 5 tests are taken, but what the event we took? The event we took more than 60%, between 70 and 80%, yes, then less than 65%, more than 75%. So these are the different events we have chosen in our random experiment and found out the probability. Now let us move on to the next example. A tire manufacturing company kept a record. So you can see again, kept a record means what? Collected the data. So the experiment has been done. So what they said, what they noted down, that when the customer comes to change the tire, they collect the data that when the tire needed to be replaced. So the table shown is here. In 20 cases, so there are 1000 cases total. Data of 1000 cases are taken. Means that 1000 customers gave their data. They found out that in 20 cases out of 1000, the distance traveled was less than 4000. Means when the tire covered 4000 kilometers, it needed to be changed. In 210 cases, it was between 4000 to 9000 kilometers. In 325 cases, the tire had to be changed between 9001 to 14,000 kilometers, and in 445 cases, the tire was changed when the tire covered more than 14,000. So this was the data available with the company. Now, if you buy a tire of this company, so suppose we buy the tire, what is the probability that we will have to change it before 4000 kilometers, or it will last more than 9000 kilometers, or it will have to be changed somewhere between 4000 and 14,000 kilometers? So what I said here, see, there is customers, 1000 customers. Yes, you understand here, there are 1000 customers who bought this tire. Now, the use of the tire will depend upon how the person drives the car. If he is driving the car too roughly, then maybe the tire get damaged faster. Or if the person is a very smooth driver, the tires may last long. So here we do not know the conditions why the tires were changed. It is possible that the person who gets the tire changed are living in a village side where the roads are rough. Yes, and those with more than 14,000 live in a city where the roads are good. But that data is not mentioned here. They have only collected the data when the tire needs to be changed after covering how many kilometers. So just based on this data, so that is why it is called experimental approach to probability. Based on these trials or experiments, we are finding the probability. So let us see the cases now one by one. Case number 1, it has to be replaced before it has covered 4000 kilometers. So now here in this sum, I name the event E1. This event is named E1. E1 is the event that it will be need to be replaced before it has covered 4000 kilometers. So probability of the event E1, this is how it is written, P into bracket E1. P into bracket E1 means probability of event 1. So I have named here what is the event 1. Event 1 means less than 4000 kilometers. So probability of event 1, you should write here total number of times the event has occurred upon total number of trials. So less than 4000, how many times it has occurred? 20 times out of 1000. So the probability is 0.02, means in very less cases you might have to change the tire before it has covered 4000 kilometers. Next case, it will last more than 9000 kilometers. So this event I have called E2. E2 means the event, I have named the event E2 is the event, it will last more than 9000. Now there are, see this 9000 to 14,000, so this is more than 9000. This is one case more than 9000 and more than 14,000. So 9000 and more than 14,000 is also more than 9000. So there are two cases here, means this two, 325 and 445. So more than 9000 we have got 325 and we'll add 445. Why are we adding it? Have you followed this? Because our event is more than 9000. So 9001 is more than 9000. More than 14,000 is also more than 9,000. So the total number of times this event has occurred is 325 plus 445 is 770. So out of this 1000 cases, in 770 times, the tire has lasted more than 9,000 kilometers. So the probability of event E2 occurring is 770 upon 1000 is 0.77. So this probability is high. So when you buy a tire, there are chances that your tire will cover more than 9,000 kilometers before it needs to be replaced. Let us move on to the third case here. It has to be replaced between 4,000 and 14,000. Yes, so that I have named as my event E3. Event E3 I have taken that it requires the replacement between 4,000 and 14,000. Between means it has to cover distance more than 4,000 but less than 14,000. So you can see this is less than 4,000. This is 4,000 to 9,000 means it is more than 4,000. And 9,000 to 14,000 means less than 14,000. So 210 events plus 325 events, the distance covered was between 4,000 to 14,000. So we first add them. 210 plus 325 is 535. Yes? So the event, so this is E3, sorry. The event E3, probability of event E3 occurring is 535 upon 1000 or 0.535. So 0.535 is almost 50%. You can see, so there is a 50% chance that you will have to change your tire between 4,000 to 14,000 kilometers. So again, this is an experimental approach where the data has been collected and you have to find the probability based on the data given to you. Now we move on to the next example. Here, the data is not given. Okay, this is a different type of sums. You must have noticed what is given. The probabilities of getting a A grade, a B grade, a C grade, or a D grade. So a student, we talk about a particular student here, any student I do not know, but a student, the chances of him getting an A grade are 0.35. Getting a B grade is 0.25. Getting a C grade is 0.35. And getting a D grade is 0.05. Means the child is quite a bright child. Getting a D grade is very, very less probability. Okay, so we are given probabilities this time. We are not given the data, we are given the probability of getting A directly. So what is the chance is getting a A grade is given, the chance is 0.35 or 35%. Chance of getting a B is 25%. Chance of getting a C is also 35% and chance of getting a D is 0.05%, that is 5%. Okay, the probabilities are given. But what is an event now? So I do not have to find the probability of getting a A, getting a B, getting a C or getting a D. It is already given to us. We have to find out the probability that he gets at most C grade. What does at most C grade mean? At most C grade means the highest grade he can get is C. Means he gets C or below C. So what comes below C grade? Comes the D grade. So at most C means the maximum, most means maximum. So the maximum grade the child can get is a C grade. So he can get a C grade or something below the C grade. So something below the C grade is the D grade. So we have to find out what is the chance. At most C means either C or D. So what we have done here, we have called E1 as the probability of getting A grade. So probability of E1 was how much? 0.35. Okay, I have written getting a A grade is the event E1. So probability of E1 we saw was 0.25. Getting a B grade is event I called E2. So probability of E2 is 0.25. Getting a C grade, yes, I have called it E3. So probability getting a C grade is again 0.35 and E4 is getting a D grade is 0.05. Now, like I said, in this case, getting a C grade, at most a C grade, means C grade or below the C grade comes the D grade. So, getting the most C grade means he could also get a D grade. So, at most C, the probability of at most C. Now, look here, I have not written E1, E2, E3, E4. I have not written anything. Why? Because my event here at most C is neither E1 nor E2 nor E3 nor E4. I can call it E5. A new event I can call E5. I can call it E5 or E6, but not E1, E2, E3, E4. Because E1 is getting an A grade, E2 is getting a B grade, E3 is getting a C grade, and E4 is getting a D grade. So here we have got, remember yesterday we did compound outputs, compound events. Compound event means a combination of two or more events. So at most C is a compound event. Why it is a compound event? Because now we have got a C grade and a D grade. So there are two outputs possible here, C grade and a D grade. So at most C, this event I can call E5, what I have written here, probability of getting at most C is the probability of getting a C grade plus the probability of getting a D grade. So C grade was how much? 0.35, D grade was 0.05, so at most C is 0.40. There is a 40% chance the child gets at most a C grade, means either a C grade or a D grade. So based on the probability, I have found a new probability of an event which is at most C. So again I am telling you, in this sum there is no data given, the probabilities were directly given of 4 events E1, E2, E3 and E4, but at most C grade I can call the event 5. So the event 5 I found out the probability from the existing probabilities. So try to understand this sum. Now the next is at least C grade. Now at least C grade means a minimum of C grade. A minimum of C grade means he can get a C grade or higher than C grade. So which are the grades higher than C grade? A B grade or a grade is higher than a C grade. So this new event I can call E6, that is at least C, is a C grade or a B grade or a grade. So the probability of getting at least C is adding the probability of getting a grade, that is P of E1, adding a B grade, that is P of E2, and adding the C grade, the probability of E3. So when we add all these three, we get 0.95. So you can see here, at least a C grade is 0.95. So this student is at least this much bright that he will not fail at all. The chances of him failing are very, very less. 0.95 means 95% chances he will at least score a C and he will pass the exam. So again I bring your attention that this sum is a different sum. Here the data is not mentioned, the probabilities of 4 events are given. Yes, we named it 4 events E1, E2, E3 and E4, and we found out an event E5 and an event E6 combining 1, 2, 3 and 4 in different ways. So now you can even think of many other events based on this. Okay, let us see one more example. The record of a weather station shows that out of the past 250 consecutive days, its weather forecast was correct 175 times. So here there are only two possibilities. What are the two possibilities? Either the record is correct, the forecast is correct, or the forecast is incorrect. Okay, either it is right or it is wrong. Now the total number of trials are 250. And out of 250, 175 times it was correct. Now here remember there are only two outputs, correct or incorrect. We have to find the probability that on a given day it was correct. So what are the chances of it being correct? So total trial was 250, correct forecast was 175. So the probability of the correct forecast is 175 upon 250 or 0.7. Means the probability of getting the forecast correct is 70%. So remember we always predict the forecast. Now in the news there was a forecast that the cyclone will come between the dates 1st and 4th, and then they predicted it will come on the 3rd of June, but it came on the 1st of June because weather forecast always forecast, they predict, they find the chances when it will come, they can never say for sure when it will come, because weather conditions are not under human control. They can change anytime. So weather has to be forecasted. So this is a good forecast because in 70% of the cases the forecast is correct. So it is a good value. You can never say for sure, you can only say how much right it can be. So here the correct forecast is 70%. Now the incorrect forecast, getting it wrong. So here we have not done. So what you could do here, if 175 times it is correct, then how many times it is wrong? So 250 minus 175, that is 75. So in 75 cases it is wrong. So you get 75 upon 250 is 0.3. But here we did not find the answer by that method. The total probability is always 1 of any experiment. So from if 1 I minus the correct, that is 0.7, I will get the incorrect. So in this sum I have used a different method. If there are only two outputs, correct and incorrect, then if you know the correct, so 1 minus the correct will give you incorrect. If you know the incorrect, then 1 minus incorrect will give you the correct. We did in the previous slide the probability of an event E occurring and a probability of event E not occurring. If you add the occurring plus the not occurring, you get 1. So here what we could do, again I tell you, if 175 times it is correct, then you see how many times it is wrong. 75 times it will be wrong. Yes, because 250 minus 175 is 75. And then we can find 75 times it is incorrect upon the total trials 250 times. So if you do this, then also you will get the answer 0.3. But I did not do that. What I did, I knew the correct. So 1 minus the correct gave me the incorrect. So if this is clear to you, you can start the sum from the exercise. If you do not have the textbook, then message me. I'll send you a file. So now try to do the sums, and you see this is a very easy chapter, but practice will make you much better. Okay, so you try the exercise on your own. In the next video, I will also do a little more sums for you from the exercise. You can compare the answers. Okay, thank you.